If you've ever wondered if it's too late to be an artist, or if slow growth even counts as real growth, I want to tell you a story. I didn't go viral. I didn't quit my job overnight. I have been slowly building my business since 2020 while working full time, fighting perfectionism, and figuring everything out as I go. In this video, I want to share with you how I went from being a graphic designer to a book conservator to building my business in the midst of 2020 and why I think creativity is never wasted, even when the path doesn't make sense at first. This is the story behind At the Dot Design and what you can expect from this channel. I am really glad that you are here. My path to where I am now has not been a straight line. I like to say it's been more of a spiral. I studied visual arts and graphic design in college, and right after graduating, I worked for a bit as a graphic designer. During my last year of school, I had a job as a graphic designer at the Special Collections Library, which meant that I designed posters and brochures and event invitations. When I had to print these enormous posters that were put outside of the library building, I'd go down to the conservation lab where that giant printer was, and I would sit there and I would wait for my giant posters to print. And while I waited for my prints to come out, I watched. I looked around. I started to notice how quiet and focused and serene this one little pocket of space inside the library was. Outside, it was bustling with students and very busy, but in this space, it felt calm and focused. In this space, there were book conservators who were carefully conserving rare books from the library's collection. At the time, I was also taking bookbinding courses just for fun, and suddenly it clicked. I had this love of art and art history. I loved bookbinding, and here was this job that combined all of those things into one. I felt like it was something I could do. One of the conservators told me about West Dean College, which is in the UK. And there you could actually study to become a book conservator. I felt like it was the perfect next step. So I applied and I was waitlisted. And so to fill that year until I could finally go to the UK and do the thing I wanted to do, I put my graphic design skills to work. And then after a year of designing boring websites, I packed my bags, headed for Chichester, and spent the next 2.5 years studying to become a book conservator. And then I graduated in 2008. Really tough timing. But eventually I found my way into the field, and I have been a full-time conservator ever since. And even though I love what I do, I always had this feeling that design would somehow make its way back into my life again. I just didn't know how. In 2020, I signed up for a very big surface pattern design course. You probably know the one. And it felt like picking up that old thread, one I had carried along with me the whole time. I really believe that life is a spiral. You can return to nearly the same place later on, but this time you have more perspective, you have more experience, you have more heart. And that's where At the Dot Design comes from. I started this channel because I wanted to have a real, honest space to talk about what it's like to build a creative business, especially if you're doing it slowly and sustainably and with a full-time job. It's not always clean or clear or easy, and it definitely doesn't always show up well on social media, but I think those stories matter just as much as the polished ones. This channel is where I get to tell those stories and invite other artists to feel less alone in their own spiralic journey. If you're an artist, a creative, or somebody just figuring things out one tiny step at a time, you are welcome here. I would love to hear where you are in your journey. Drop a comment or just say hi. It means a lot to know who's watching out there. And if this kind of honest, slow business talk resonates with you, I hope you subscribe and stick around. I have a lot more to share. Thank you so much for being here and for spending a few minutes with me. I'm really glad you're here. I'll see you in the next video. And if you want to know a little bit more about what a slow month looks like in my business, it was slow. Go ahead and watch this video next.